10 urban legends. This one is called the organ theft or the kidney heist. I'll let you look at this one here, Goose.
I always wondered about this. A business traveler stopped in the hotel bar and was befriended by a beautiful woman. They began flirting as she invited him back to her hotel room. The next thing the man remembered was that he was lying in the bathtub of the hotel room, covered in blood. Terrified, he called 911, and the operator seemed to know what was going on. She asked him if there was a tube protruding from his back, and sure enough, there was. He went to the doctor, who confirmed that both of his kidneys had been stolen. The man was dependent on dialysis for the rest of his life. This is a very famous urban legend that I have heard many times. This rumor is common in the United States, but I've heard mostly in Eastern Europeans. Sometimes they involve other organs, but most common ones are the kidneys. The eyes. Oh, ooh.
Oh, wow.
The 911 operator knows what has happened to the man, which is evidence that this sort of thing happens quite often. And the fact that there is a drainage tube proves the surgery was done by a professional. There have been several legitimate cases of kidney theft, though most of them have been taken illegally from dead bodies. I have been also warned about traveling through Eastern Europe, especially Hungary. Many Hungarians have told me that people with blue eyes are targeted because blue eyes are sold to plastic surgeons in Japan. Whether or not this really happens, the idea is quite frightening, and since similar cases have been documented, it begs the question which came first, urban legend or the crime.
Wow, that is crazy there, Goose. I gotta say,
eyes. You might as well kill them at that point, though.
You know, I think I'd be alright without, you have to go for dialysis, and yeah, that kind of sucks, but, not having your eyes? Yeah, I don't know.
Why not just
I don't know about that, Goose. Yeah, like you said, I'd rather them just take me.
Just take all the organs.
Just take it all, right, and just leave me alive with no eyes. Come on.
Yeah.
So, here's another one. The hitchhiker ghost. A man is driving alone at night. He sees a young girl standing on the side of a quiet country road, and he pulls over to assist her. She tells him she needs to get home, and being a good Samaritan, he offers to give her a ride. He takes her to her house and drops her off, and watches her go inside. And as he was driving away, he noticed that she left her sweater in the car. So the next day, he goes back to drop it off. An old woman answers the door, and he says, "Your daughter left her sweater in my car last night." The old woman says, "I'm sorry, sir, but that's not possible. She has been dead for 30 years. I've heard variations of this story countless times. It appears that each city has its own beloved hitchhiker ghost, from Chicago being the most famous. I think I heard of one before where a guy, it was called the White Ghost, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Or a ghost in a white dress kind of thing. And this guy was going through this, he was walking through a graveyard, and there's this girl in a really revealing white dress, and she's kind of motioning to him to follow her into the woods. And so he goes to follow her, but the thing is he's married, so it kind of goes after men that are not faithful. And then when he gets to her, he's walking up to her from behind, right, and then she turns around and she's kind of like a zombie, that kind of thing, and attacks him.
Head jump scared him, got him.
It's just a prank, bro. Right. This is written by...
these 10 urban legends written by Stephanie Das.
Stephanie Das, yeah, 10 urban legends. So we got the first one already?
Yeah, we got Hitchhiker Ghost. Now we're going The Goat Man. Ba-ba-bum. The Goat Man is the result of a horrible science experiment gone wrong. The mistake of top secret CIA laboratory. He is half man, half goat, and he carries an axe that he uses to attack teenagers who go out to the woods alone at night. This urban legend that my aunts and uncles I heard about when they were growing up in Maryland in the 70s, and I heard about it as a teenager. The Goat Man is a vicious monster, but his situation elicits sympathy. He was driven insane by the fear and shame of what was done to him. The story plays on the fears of technology, which were very widespread in the 70s, and the heartless scientists. It also gives you a legitimate reason to be afraid of the woods at night, or serves as a morality tale for teens who get the urge to experiment. As I understand it, this urban legend developed in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Several teenagers reported they were alone in the woods at night, usually in a car kissing their boyfriend or girlfriend, ooh la la, when the man
Giggity.
dressed up in a big rabbit suit jumped onto their car and smashed the windows with a small axe.
And a pink rabbit suit. I like how it says, underline, yes, you read that correctly.
Yeah. There are even newspaper articles confirming witness reports of a strange string of attacks. The rabbit man never really hurt anyone, but is said to his image evolved into the urban legend of the Goat Man.
Wait, never hurt anyone.
Yeah,
He smashed an axe into somebody's windshield.
and then he ran off.
Yeah, but that's gonna hurt somebody's wallet. Hey, you gotta pay for that.
Okay, well, that's a broad definition of hurt, I think. Man, he cut my lawn and that hurt my sense of duty to cut my own lawn.
That's right.
Can't believe it.
The car pushing ghosts. Back in the 30s, oh, I've heard about this. A school bus full of children broke down over a railroad track. A train crashed into the bus, killing all the children and the driver. The ghosts of the children are still there, and if you put your car in neutral, they will push the car up and over the tracks so you don't meet the same horrible fate they did. This is a legend that is usually said to happen in spots where gravity creates an optical illusion. If you put your car in neutral, it would appear to roll uphill. Versions of this legend are told all over the world, and people claim that if you put baby powder on your car, the handprints of the children will show up on them.
I can see how that could be like a illusion.
Yeah.
Number
I remember hearing about that when I was like in high school, I think.
Nice. I mean, not the children dying, but the nice story. Nice.
Yeah.
Doppelgangers. Popularized recently as a harmless Facebook fad, the doppelgangers are shown up in many cultures around the world, sometimes as an evil twin, a frightening omen of death, or simply a strange belief that everyone has an exact double somewhere in the world. In Germany, the doppelganger is an evil ghost double of a living person, who spends all of its time preying on its human part. Other cultures theorize that everyone has a body double, and that one of you is evil, and one of you is good. How many times has someone said to you, I saw you walking yesterday downtown?
I've had that said to me many times. I've gone to like the grocery store when I was like, you were just here. I was like, no, I just got here. When I first got here, my wife, she went to the mall and said she'd seen another guy. They looked exactly like me. It's like it's been said to me so many times, it's crazy. And I like how on this one it's like, one of you could be evil, one of you could be good.
It's like, I'm evil. It's me. I'm the evil one.
Sounds like the Arnold Schwarzenegger body double.
I'm not you, no. I'm you, no. But I'm me. How you? No. No. Yeah, but stolen identities, yeah. And you've replied, that's impossible, because I was in the house all day. To which the person says, oh, must have been your evil twin.
LOL.
Then they run away. Such statements are usually written off as a confusion. But do you know anyone who hasn't had this happen to them at least once? A quick Wikipedia search proves that there have been several accounts of people who claim to have met their double, and none of them are positive experiences. There's a North myth that the doppelganger does all the actions of the real person just before the real person does them.
What about all those movies where they have the body doubles, the people who look just like the actors doing the stunts?
Well, those are near cases, I would say. Very close.
Okay, so they had to look exactly like the person.
They don't have to,
like a twin.
yeah, it's a double. You have to know, like, wait, that's my face.
It's basically like looking in the mirror.
Pretty much.
Okay.
At least, yeah. Because there's plenty of people who look very similar. There's, famous celebrity, copy people.
Mm-hmm.
All the Elvis ripoffs,
Makes sense. The cursed videotape. A few girls were having a sleepover and went to a video store to rent a movie. When they got back to the house, they popped in the tape and were horrified to find that it was not the movie they thought they rented, but a video of a woman being burned for practicing voodoo. She cursed all who witnessed her death, saying they will die in 3 days. 3 days later, all the girls had died in the most tragic and unlikely of ways. Stories about cursed videotapes have been around for as long as time, and were made famous by the horror movie from Japan, Ringu, as well as its U.S. version, The Ring. My mom reports having heard stories since she was little about videotapes that will kill you if you watch them. I think that's probably like from parents that have like an adult video collections. Like, now Timmy, don't go and watch these videotapes or you'll die. So yeah, just don't touch those.
Don't watch those adult videos, you'll die.
You'll go blind.
Now, was it actually called Ringu, or is that just like someone heard a Japanese person say it and they just wrote it as they heard it?
Well, let me do like a quick, let's see.
Ringu.
Google search here. Let's see. Click on this. Click on Google here. And
Ringu? Or I guess the ring in Japanese.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh? Ringu 2.
Yeah.
The Ring Returns.
I didn't even know if there was a second one.
I didn't ever see the first one.
I've never seen either one either.
We have to watch
because
something.
they said it would kill you, so why would you watch it?
Oh, good point. Good point. Number 7. Burned alive. My great-great-grandfather told this story to his children, who have passed it down through the generations. When his wife died, he was heartbroken. The night of her funeral, he awoke to a horrible vision of her scratch at the coffin lid. He had this nightmare every night for a week, until it finally drove him to dig up the coffin and see for himself. When he did, he found his wife's fingers covered in dried blood and worn down to the bone. The inside of the coffin had been torn apart by her scratching. That's terrifying. I mean, just the thought that like your wife might be alive, not as like a zombie, but she's alive and she's trying to get out. Then again, she wouldn't be scratching; she would just push it open, right?
I mean, you would try, but it'd be underneath dirt, so you couldn't push it open.
Oh, that's a shame. These stories have been around for centuries and probably stem from the fact that in the past, many people actually were accidentally pronounced dead and buried alive. Edgar Allan Poe has a very scary short story on the topic. What's it called? I need to read this one.
Premature burial is impossible when this vault is used. A person could live for hours in one of the compartments, or at any rate, long enough to open the cover by turning the handle, meant to protect people from accidentally being buried alive. 1890. Wow.
It's like a small brick house inside of a hill with a bunch of half-circle
Well, I think there's
vault
like
holes.
quite a few different herbs and whatnot out there that when you have them together, they can put you into a state where it's almost like you're dead, where you have like a very slow pulse and whatnot.
A type of trank.
Yeah, so yeah, like a tranquilizer. So it could.
If you're in a state where people think you're dead, like, but let's say you had an illness and you're like, oh, he's dead, but you weren't dead. I mean, would you really even have the strength to twist it as you're laying down, your arms trying above your head?
Well, most likely there'd be no air in there.
Yeah.
So you like would
Totally
you probably
alive.
wouldn't have the strength.
It would kill you anyway. That's it. I gotta read that poem.
The flashing headlights. A woman is out late driving one night and pulls into a gas station to fill her tank. She goes inside the convenience store to pay. When she gets back on the road, she notices that a car is following her and periodically flashes its lights. She gets a little nervous and pulls onto some deserted roads to see if he continues following her, which he does. This was before everyone had cell phones to call the police, so she winds around the abandoned roads hoping to lose him. And the whole time this car keeps following her and flashing its lights. Finally she speeds home and pulls into the driveway. She jumps out the car and screams, "Help! Call the police!" The guy calmly gets out of his car and says, "I saw a guy get into your car before you, so I followed to help you. I kept flashing my lights because I could see him reach up with a knife." So
Good excuse, old man.
Right. It turns out he was SCP-106. And it was his pocket dimension. Now try not to say this
like
next
that
one 3 times in a row. No,
That's
it's fine.
right.
We don't have a mirror. It's all good.
Bloody Berry. The legend states that going to the bathroom, turning off the lights, and chanting Bloody Mary will summon the evil spirit of a woman in the mirror. Oh, I heard this one before.
I think you have to say
This
it.
one's
I think it's
real.
like a Valentine's, like on the night of Valentine's, right?
I heard it was just any time.
Oh, okay.
You gotta go in front of the mirror and say Biggie Smalls 3 times. Some variations of the legend will say that Bloody Mary will pull you into the mirror, claw your eyes out, or that you'll go insane or die within 24 hours of seeing her. Some sources say that Bloody Mary is a woman who was disfigured in a car crash, that she is a witch who was burned in Salem witch hunts and has returned to take revenge, or that she is the devil himself coming to steal your soul. Most children have heard about the legend of Bloody Mary. How many times have I said it so far? I think I think it's said 3 times.
You had to look into a mirror, so you're all good.
Oh, I for one did. If one of my friends actually went into my bathroom to test out the legend, nothing happened to her, but I was scared to use the bathroom for a week.
I did it when I was younger.
Yeah?
Nothing happened.
I think there was a few of them. Like, there's Bloody Mary and there's, like, at least 2 other ones that you say.
There was a movie, I think it was called The Glass House. I'll have to look it up later, but
I think I've seen that one.
it was one where they had all, like, the most dangerous, like, ghosts in there. Bloody Mary was one of them.
I saw the first half of that, yes. That one was kind of cool.
I can't remember the ending. I think I've seen the first half, too.
They're all, like, locked up, and
Yeah.
then someone releases them.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy. That'd be a good one to watch later.
Mm.
And finally, The Babysitter.
By Dwayne Johnson.
Right. Did he do a movie called The Babysitter?
I think it's the pacifier, but
Oh,
it's pretty
okay.
much the same thing.
Okay, so a teenage girl goes over to babysit her neighbor's kids while they go out. After the kids are asleep, the girl is watching TV when she gets a phone call. She answers and hears someone breathing on the other end, and the other person hangs up. This happens several times, and then finally a voice on the other end says, "I'm coming to get you." She is scared, but dismisses it as a prank call. The phone rings again, and the man says, "I'm getting closer." The girl hangs up and calls the police, who say they're on their way. The phone rings again, and the girl is now shaking. She answers, and the man says, "Have you checked on the children? The police arrived to save her, but it's too late." This story scared the wits out of me when I was a kid. I think this is the same premise as Scream, right?
You know what? I actually never saw Scream, but it probably was a babysitter.
I watched Scary Movie, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was funny. Where, like, he kept calling her. He was like, she could definitely see him sneaking around the house. It's just like, can you see me now? I was like, yeah, I see you. Like, you're right behind the curtain. She's like, dang it. Because hides behind the couch with that. And then he's like calling her on the phone. He's like, what's up? They kept going back and forth. So that was great. Yeah, these are pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, modern folklore legends.
Yeah. Thanks, Stephanie.
Yeah, it was good times.
All right.
So I would say out of all of these that we've seen, that Bloody Mary would probably come the closest to being an SCP.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know how you would go about containing her unless you would just have to block
She just no one.
all information of her name.
Yeah, you'd have to delete her from people's minds, and then she wouldn't be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was another good episode of the Folklore Scrolls. You have anything else to say about these legends or that SCP-106?
I've been thoroughly spooked.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go home and play myself some Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Bro, let me come too.
All right,
Let's go
we're
play
gonna
some
do it.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
We're gonna get all the adventures and see all the kitties.
That's right.
I gotta get a little top hat for mine,
And then I'm gonna go sacrifice a sheep.
as we all do.
In my after podcast ritual.
Right.
It's just something I do. Don't judge me, all right? Don't judge me.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Do you name it first?
Of course.
You monster.
You son of a...
You know, like...
I give it the same name each time. It's Clarence.
That works, you know. I mean, if you have a name like that,
So many
you
Clarences.
probably want to be sacrificed. I'm just saying.
Yep.
If there's any Clarence out there listening, we love you.
By the way, I got an excess of sheep blood. Do you want some?
Yeah, I'll take a cup.
All right. Goodbye.
Holla at you later.